Hello children, welcome to the science class. Today I'll discuss with you about the properties of light. Aim to show that light travels in a straight line. What to do? To show that light travels in a straight line, it can be seen through a very interesting experiment. Now see, take a curved tube. Point one end towards the bulb, keep on a table. So keep a curved tube on a table and point one end towards the bulb. Then what happens? See, look through the other end. You try to look through the other end. Do you see light through the other end? No, it is not possible to see light through the other end. No, you will not be able to see the light through the other, and because light travels in a straight line, it cannot bend around corners. As because light cannot bend around corners, you are not able to see anything with the help of the curved tube. Now the properties of light. So light travels in a straight line. Light travels in many directions from its source. So from a source, light can travel in many directions, and light can bounce back, light can reflect back. The light that is bounced back by the surface of an opaque object is called reflected light. So the light that is bound back from the surface of the opaque object is called reflected light. Next, we see objects because the reflected light from the surface of an opaque object reaches our eyes. Shiny surfaces reflects more light. So, why or how we can see objects? It is because the reflected light from any opaque object reaches our eyes. So, it is because of the opaque object the light reflects back to our eyes. Shiny objects or surfaces, they reflect more light. Light can pass from one medium to another. The light bends when it passes from one medium to another. For example, air to water. This is called refraction of light. So when light travels from air to water, it bends. When it passes through one medium, air is one medium and water is another medium to another. So this is known as refraction of light. Okay. Next you see, visible light can split into 7 colors. So now see, this is a prism. Through this prism, if we pass light, what happens? So a prism is a device having a triangular shape and made of glass or quartz. So this prism is made up of glass or quartz kind of material like glass. As the visible or the white light is allowed to pass through it, when white light is allowed to pass through it, what happens? Through this triangular prism, it is separated into 7 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. So this is called dispersion of light. So this activity of light is known as dispersion of light through prism. Now see shadows. There is a power cut at Martha's house. She is using a torch to find the candles. Martha's brother Banku is trying to scare her by suddenly coming in front of Martha. Now look at the picture B. Now here you see picture B. What do you think? The dark patch on the wall. What is that? The dark patch? It is the shadow. So this dark patch was not present in picture A because there was light. So how do you think it was formed? So how it was formed? When some objects come in between the path of the light and block it, then what happens? a black colored shadow is formed, and block it, a black colored patch known as shadow is formed on the object. So, a black colored patch or shadow is formed on the object. Here Banku, he was trying to scare her by suddenly coming in front of Martha, and it did not allow this Banku, he did not allow the light to pass through him. That's why on the wall there is a shadow of Banku. There are some objects such as glass which allow the light to pass through them, hence no shadow formation takes place. Now, through glass no shadow formation takes place. Glass and water allow light to pass through them. Same in the case of water, a glass of water, it allows light to pass through them. Now, these objects do not allow light to pass through them, so they form a shadow, like book, car, hammer, elephant, they form a shadow as they do not allow light to pass through them. So, a shadow has the following features. What are the features? It is always formed on a surface or a screen behind the object. So, this is the first feature, that the shadow always formed on the surface or a screen behind the object. If there is a screen or any surface, it is formed on that surface. A shadow formed a strong source of light. Shadow from a strong source of light is sharp, whereas shadow from a weak source of light is blurred. So, if the light source is strong enough, then the shadow will be sharp. Otherwise, if the light source is weak, then the shadow will be blurred. It does not have a fixed size. A shadow is longer in the morning and evening, shorter during midday. During midday it will be shorter, in the evening also it will be longer, as well as in the morning also the shadow will be longer. Now look at the pictures carefully. Now state true or false. Book gives us light. It is false. The shadow should not have formed here. It is false. And light travels in zigzag path. That is also false. Okay. Action 4 has been explained in the class. So there are 3 pictures. Place the stool in the center of a light source and screen. Now bring the stool closer to the screen, away from the torch. Now bring the stool near the torch and away from the screen. So what is the effect? When the object is in the center of the light source and screen, then the shadow is formed. The shadow that is formed, that will be longer. When we move the object closer to the light source, the shadow will be shorter. And when we move the object away from the light source, again the shadow will be longer. So that's all for today, dear children. Read the chapter thoroughly, and very short answers is given to you in the online class. Again I am sharing that. I will share it in the e-content. Thank you. Have a nice day.